Live from Schellenberger Field in Lynchburg, Virginia, you're watching the ODAC Men's Soccer Conference Semifinals. The University of Lynchburg Hornets enter it 13-4-1 on the season, 8-1 in conference play, and play host to Virginia Wesleyan, the Marlins. 12-3-4 in overall record, 4-2-3 against ODAC opponents. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You're watching LHSN on this Wednesday night. TJ Wingard here with you to take you through this semifinal matchup between the Hornets and the Marlins. Lots of talent, a lot of players, a lot of storylines. Here are some of the numbers coming into the matchup. Two of the top four scoring offenses in the conference. Lynchburg third with those 44 goals. Virginia Wesleyan right behind them, fourth with 35. Also two of the top teams in regards to shots. Lynchburg finished the season fifth in the ODAC. Virginia Wesleyan second. Both these teams coming off wins in the quarterfinals. For Lynchburg, it was a 4-0 defeat over Shenandoah. For the 6th seed Virginia Wesleyan, it was a 1-0 victory at Randolph-Macon, the 6-3 upset. Here are some players to keep your eyes on talking about that goal for Virginia Wesleyan. It came courtesy from Nate Mitchell, freshman from Chantilly, Virginia. Came in the 4th minute. Then it was scoreless from that point onward. Upset victory for the Marlins. Having a big day, our player to watch for Lynchburg. In the quarterfinals, the first career hat trick for Luke Mega, up to 11 goals on the season. That's good for third most in the ODAC. Figured to see him a lot at the top of the offense today for Lynchburg. Now we have to talk about the keepers. Between the posts for Virginia Wesley, number 1 senior from Manchester, Maryland, Griffin Potter. 8 starts this year, .79 goal against average, and has 5+ saves in 10 consecutive matches. And on the other side, another senior, Justin Ennis. Just 3 shots faced over the last 5 games played. Overall, 1.01 goal against average, and the save percentage is at 69.2%. And, of course, you have to talk about the coaches for both these programs. 9th-year man Chris Mills led Virginia Wesleyan to the ODAC Championship in 2013, looking to get back to that point. With a win tonight, he'd be in the championship game, I beg your pardon. And prior to being the head coach, he was an assistant for 5 years with Virginia Wesleyan. And strong ties to Virginia Wesleyan for Chris Yeager, former player, former assistant coach for the Marlins, now in his 19th year at the helm for Lynchburg, looking for ODAC Championship number 8. We are underway from the University of Lynchburg. 2 versus 6 matchup. We'll also keep you up to date with the 1 versus 4 matchup out in Lexington, Virginia. Washington Lee playing host to Randolph. And here are the starting lineups for both teams, starting with Virginia Wesleyan. We highlighted Nate Mitchell, but a couple other players you'll hear me call their name a lot. Number 9, Scott Signorelli, 7 goals, 4 assists. He's now making 14 consecutive starts. And then another player, Braylon Johnson, started all 19 games, and he's played at least 74 minutes in every match so far for the Marlins. And now the starting 11 for Lynchburg as they carry into the attacking third. Pass goes to Kenny Robles. He's a good player to talk about. He's another successful year for Lynchburg. 4 goals, 3 assists. Highlighted Mega. And in between Mega and Robles is Brennan Lagana, sophomore. No points in 4 consecutive matches. And if you're a Hornets fan, that might be a sign that he is due. Overall, the Burlington, North Carolina native finished the regular season 6 goals, 5 assists. 2-player wall in front of Robles. Also has Seth Dale flanking to his right. Robles will take, send it inside towards the 12. Mega gets a head on it. Ball live, cleared away then by Matt Campbell, senior from Midlothian, Virginia. 15 consecutive starts now for Campbell. Another look at the early set-piece opportunity. Robles has fantastic touch. And Mega, despite being a little bit small in stature, has a great vertical, has a natural timing to be able to go climb the ladder. Throw-in for Lynchburg comes from Lagana in the direction of Bailey Kearns. Welcome addition back in the starting lineup for Lynchburg. Was forced to sit out of the quarterfinal due to 5 yellow cards throughout the regular season. So the senior Kearns back in the lineup. Another opportunity for Mega getting his head on it. Misses wide right of the post. So a couple of chances early on for Lynchburg. Talked about top 3 in the conference in goals, top 5 in shots. Second in the ODAC in assists with 32. Overall, it's 2 offenses that plenty of players put together a strong showing and find the back of the net. So really it's going to come down to the defense, and that is also a strength for this Lynchburg team. A lot of veteran experience. Seth Dale back to Griffin Phillips, now over to the grad student Nick Foley. And if you're familiar with these Lynchburg broadcasts, you've heard me mention it 1,000 times over. Sorry, you're going to hear it one more time tonight. On the far side, it's Joey Daly, senior. Next to him, center back Nick Foley, grad student next to him, Griffin Phillips, another senior. And then Seth Dale, the youngest of the bunch, a junior. So it's an older crop on the back line for the Hornets, and it certainly pays dividends. Also helps you have Bailey Kearns, who can move up and down the field, and then Carter Averett in that holding mid spot. Junior who picked up his second goal in the season. He was the lone non-mega goal scorer in the quarterfinals against Shenandoah. That 4-0 win against Shenandoah, by the way, for Lynchburg, 6th shutout of the last 11 matches played. So high-octane offense, but the defense can't sleep on it either. Headed down by Johnson. Mega had it for a second. Kearns tries to roll it through to Shalita. Pass makes it through the box untouched. Talked about Braylon Johnson as one of those players to watch for Virginia Wesleyan. Number 27, you see him right in front of Shalita. He's played in 90 minutes or more in the last 6 matches played. Freshman from Herndon, Virginia. Newcomer, but already carved out a big role for himself. And next to him on that back line is Iko Covarrubias, another freshman. So that's something to keep your eyes on. Very veteran group on the back line for Lynchburg versus a couple of freshmen in the center of the back four for the Marlins. But that said, both Covarrubias and Johnson now 19 games into their collegiate career. And it's a Virginia Wesleyan team that has put up a fair amount of shutouts themselves. We talk about 6 in the last 11 for Lynchburg. Griffin Potter, 7 shutouts on the season. Leads the ODAC in save percentage at 89.2%. And there was a stretch earlier in this season where it was 6 consecutive clean sheets for Virginia Wesleyan. Then they allowed 6 goals in a 3-game stretch to end the regular season against some good opponents. And then they got right back to their strong defensive ties, the 1-0 victory on the road at Randolph-Macon. Loose ball was with Ethan Clark for a moment. Covarrubias passes ahead, bringing it across midfield. This is Nate Mitchell, our player to watch, working against Carter Averett, bringing it back towards the center of the pitch. Phillips steps up, pokes it away. Shalita now out wide, far side. It's Luke Mega. Shalita, very impressive sophomore. 3rd-team All-Conference last year. Makes his 16th start this year, 18th game played. Shalita from Fairfax, Virginia, 1 goal, 6 assists so far this year. Lynchburg, of course, the reigning ODAC champs, as Andrew Glass is going to throw in for the Marlins. Tosses in the direction of Juan Tovar. Tovar couldn't do anything with it. Now Dale will toss in for the Hornets. To continue my point, Lynchburg made a run in the ODAC postseason last year, topping Randolph, then Hampton-Sydney at Hampton-Sydney in overtime in the semis, then topping Guilford 5-1 in the ODAC championship. And the Hornets looking to get back there. There is a little bit up in the air as we get through the semifinals. If Randolph upsets Washington and Lee, it'll be an all-Lynchburg ODAC championship. Again, that's also playing the fact that if Lynchburg wins, it would be Randolph-Lynchburg, all-Lynchburg battle. And that game would be played here at Schellenberger Field. If W&L wins, Lynchburg wins, that'll be played out in Lexington, Virginia. Meanwhile, Virginia Wesleyan comes away with another win, keeps their Cinderella run alive. They'll hit the road to either play at Randolph or Washington and Lee. Lagana keeps it with Lynchburg, sends it towards the 12. Pass a little too strong for Mega. Glass pokes it back to midfield. Foley bombs long. Pass headed away by a Virginia Wesleyan defender. Should lead all the way back to Griffin Phillips, 18th start of the year for the Richmond, Virginia native. Mega with Matt Campbell on his back. Campbell the last to touch it. Throw in for Lynchburg in positive territory. These two teams did not see one another in the regular season. All-time series record. Virginia Wesleyan is 20-13-6 against Lynchburg. But the Hornets have taken 3 in a row. Last time that Virginia Wesleyan topped Lynchburg was November 3rd, 2015. Overall, Lynchburg at home against the Marlins, 10-6-3. See a solid crowd on hand. Despite it being a little bit of a chillier night here in Lynchburg, Virginia, 48 degrees at first touch. The feels like right around 46. We anticipate the temperature to drop a couple more degrees throughout the match. Nice touch forward from Daly, wanted Mega. Virginia Wesleyan collapses on the junior quickly. Potter to Campbell. Senior looks long towards midfield and headed out by Lynchburg. And talk about the weather. It's always such an interesting element towards the season for these soccer programs. You start the year for Lynchburg, season openers at home against Covenant, and it's nearly 90 degrees outside. Turned out to be a really pretty day, but starting the year when it's really warm and now postseason play, you're seeing players wear gloves, everyone on the sidelines wearing jackets. It's just the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Early 2-0 shot advantage for Lynchburg. You see Brennan Lagana. He'll be the man for Lynchburg to throw in when deep into opposing territory. Otherwise, it'll be Seth Dale. Lagana looks long, and you'll see Bailey Kearns back-headed towards the keeper. That's typically the route Hornets try to take on those throw-ins. Potter showcases the good leg. Forces Lynchburg to reset all the way back in their half of the pitch. The ability for Potter to shift the field of play could be a very valuable asset, because when Lynchburg is able to keep it at their feet and pile one shot, make it 2 to 3 to 4, and they just keep it live and keep the opportunities churning, that's when teams get into trouble against the Hornets. But when you have a keeper with a leg like Potter, you at least give yourself the opportunity. Possession may stay with Lynchburg like it does here, but you're forcing the Hornets all the way back to midfield, maybe even on their half of the pitch, and your defense can collect itself, get an opportunity to catch its breath. Also, you can bring your press forward. At the top of the formation right now is Scott Signorelli, senior from Newport News. 7 goals, 4 assists. That's 18 points on the year. Bailey Kearns lays it off for Mega. Works right past Alex Moody. Chips it towards the post, out in front of Robles. Potter gathers and rolls it up the near sideline. Andrew Glass, a junior from Chester, Virginia. Over to Tovar. Foul goes against Lynchburg. Ethan Clark over the ball. Freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia, makes his 12th consecutive start. No wall. Now Seth Dale will step up in front of Clark. 1-player wall for Lynchburg. Chip to the 6. Kearns, very valuable part of Lynchburg's offensive arsenal in those set-piece opportunities. A great player on those aerial chances. There he does it on the defensive end. Forces Virginia Wesleyan to reset. Thrown from the far side. Marlins turn it over. Shalita picks it up. Tovar forced to go back to Braylon Johnson. Over to Campbell. Signorelli takes it off the chest. Then taken away by Lynchburg. We're about 13 minutes into play, and you can already see this is going to be a patient, slow burn for these offenses, trying to see how the defense reacts to pass sequences, player movements, everything of the nature. Pass a little off the mark, forces Kearns to step up. Coach Chris Yeager calls on Mega to press against Campbell. They're going to say last touch by Campbell. Throw in from Lagana. So again on these plays, keep your eyes on number 19, Bailey Kearns. You'll see him on the other end of the box. Throw in goes there. Kearns pops it up. Potter climbs the ladder. Gets to it just before Kenny Robles can. Moody with good pace. Ahead for Glass. Centered up. Tovar hits the brakes. Sophomore making his second consecutive start. Got the nod against Randolph-Macon. Overall, the 9th on the year for Tovar. No goals, but 3 assists. For the second-year man for Virginia Wesleyan. Nice job from Moody. Glass crosses the box, headed away by Kearns. Rolls all the way out to Lagana. Good pass over to Shalita. No numbers advantage for Lynchburg. Shalito sends it across the pitch. To Robles, has Lagana in front of him. Robles high steps. Campbell, nice defensive stop, poking it away for the junior. Picked up by Tovar. Gets it back out to Campbell. Foul call, and it's actually going against Virginia Wesleyan. Foley, the grad player, first year of a 2-year Physician's Associate program. And it's a rigorous course, forced him to miss a few games, but made himself available for the postseason. Phillips lofts in the direction of Robles. Campbell heads it down. Picked up by Joey Daly. The left-footed senior. 2 goals, 2 assists on the year. First team All-ODAC. Certainly put together a good argument this season. The offensive numbers are solid, but he's just one of those key fixtures on a very veteran back line that we talked about at the start of the broadcast. Another throw-in for Lagana. Clark defending on Kearns. There's nothing doing on the header. Lagana keeps it live. Tries to find Phillips. Unable to do so. Averett just barely able to keep it in along the sideline. Last touched by Ethan Clark. Quick throw-in. Serves as a shorter corner. Off the head of Robles, and then fingertip save for Griffin Potter. A play that nice, you have to see it twice. Third shot of the day for Lynchburg. It was Lagana instead on the pass, and Robles taking it off the noggin. Not entirely sure it would have gone in if Potter didn't get his hands on it, but the senior from Maryland does his due diligence and ensures it stays 0-0, but it's a corner for Lynchburg. Bring it to the near side. Headed by Kearns, then Averett. Now fielded by a couple of Virginia Wesleyan defenders. Whistle on the play. Goes against Lynchburg. Griffin Potter coming off his 7th shutout of the season in the quarterfinals against Randolph-Macon. No easy task. On the other side, Justin Ennis technically has 2. Kyle Gallagher has 1. There have been a fair amount of times where Lynchburg's put together the clean sheet, but it hasn't been one keeper between the posts for the duration of the entire contest. Therefore, it becomes a combined shutout. Pass parlayed over to Nate Mitchell. Has it go off his right foot and out of play. The game winner against Randolph-Macon, the 3rd score of the season for Mitchell. Also has 6 helpers. Taking 41 shots and has 12 points. Free kick from just beyond midfield. Over the ball. Covarrubias with the left foot. Sends it inside the 18. Kearns the first one to it. Picking up the rebound is Mega. Tovar. The defender behind him. In front of him is Campbell. Mega forced to slow down. Shalita nutmegs Tovar. Finds some space. Treks back to the center of the pitch. Wants Robles. The pass not entirely on the mark, but Robles able to keep it in. Stands in front of glass. Swings over to Shalita. Now back to Dale. Averett fields the pressure from Tovar. Phillips to Shalita. Taken away by Ethan Clark. They're going to rule it went out on the near sideline, right around midfield. 20 minutes in, or close to it in the first half. Solid crowd mounting up on the far end of the pitch on Dr. Jack Tom's track. Also a fair amount of spectators from the Westover Hall decks. Everyone, of course, trying to stay warm. Free kick now for Lynchburg, just beyond the attacking third line. Robles will take once again. In front of him is Mitchell. Bending towards the top of the box. Headed towards the net, missing wide of the post, and Phillips, despite being in the vicinity, wasn't able to cover the necessary ground. Gridlock continues as Potter sets the goal kick. 4 shots on the match so far, all for Lynchburg. Off the head of Signorelli and out of play. Possession goes right back to the Hornets. Lynchburg gives possession right away. Covarrubias blasts out towards Foley. Kearns picks it up. Dale sends it into the Lynchburg sky. Throw in for the Marlins. Also a substitution for Virginia Wesleyan. Michael Nocera checks into the match. He comes on for Juan Tovar. Nocera had made 5 consecutive starts at the end of the regular season. Did not see his name penciled into the starting 11 against Randolph-Macon. And again, today serves as the first reserve off the bench. Comes on for the sophomore Tovar. Good pass out wide. Mega in front of Matt Campbell. Gets past Campbell. Slides down and a foul called on the play. Virginia Wesleyan in complete disbelief. That's a big call to make inside the box. We'll let you be the judge at home. Nifty moves here from Mega just inside the 18. Campbell stumbles, maybe extends the arm, tripping up Mega. The result of the play, penalty kick for Luke Mega, fresh off his first career hat trick. Looking to break the ice and give our match the first score. Mega hesitates, puts it in. Bottom left corner. Mega opens the scoring, has his 12th goal on the season. Lynchburg out in front, 1-0. Here it is once again. And Mega uses his hesitation to see where Potter's leaning. And once you see Potter dive out to his left, it's an easy shot for Mega to take advantage with. So now 4 goals over the last 2 games played for the junior from Glen Allen, Virginia. And there's a cliche, and they tell you to err away from cliches in broadcasting, but big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And so far this postseason, Luke Mega has been that guy for Lynchburg. Now Virginia Wesleyan looking to answer. A little over 22 minutes left in the first half. Marlins, it's tough to overcome the momentum that might be on the side of Lynchburg. Once this offense gets going, Hornets have a knack for being able to keep possession. They're a very clean passing team. And a big part of that is Carter Averett, who sends this pass in the direction of Shalita off the mark. So now Virginia Wesleyan looking for the answer. We're going to battle back against some of the momentum on the side of Lynchburg. Still in the first half. But you have to think the first step at trying to get that score back begins with getting a shot. 5-0 shot advantage right now for Lynchburg. Still plenty of soccer left to be played. But now the clock has been put on Virginia Wesleyan. And an update from Lexington, Virginia. Randolph out in front, 1-0. Goal comes courtesy of Noah Carney. Randolph had the top 2 goal scorers in the ODAC. Evan Blow at 19. Carney entered with 12. And it was going against one of the top keepers and defenses overall in WNL. Carney opens the scoring. Wildcats out to an early 1-0 lead over the top seed Washington and Lee. So both the Lynchburg teams land the first punch. What figures to be a heavyweight fight. We'll keep you up to date once again. Everything going on at Washington and Lee. Here in Lynchburg, Hornets out in front, 1-0. Kearns sends it towards the box. After the clear from Virginia Wesleyan, Kearns wins it right back. Ball's going to roll across the end line. Kearns tries to make the argument it was last touched by a Marlin defender. His case falls onto deaf ears. And instead it'll be Potter to boot it away. Marlins into the attacking third. Haven't seen many chances for Virginia Wesleyan, and large because of moments like that. Once they do get deep into positive territory, the passing has gone awry. Swing pass there intended for Nate Mitchell. It was off the mark and went out of play. Lynchburg right back to it on the offensive side. Phillips carries forward, reverses the far side. It's Monzi Shalita, and we've seen him move up and down the pitch already. 26 minutes, and we've seen him start the match in the midfield. There were moments where he was at the top of the attacking formation and applying the press. Now, all the way across the back line, Mega. Heat check from outside the box. Potter comes up with the save. sent high into Lynchburg sky. Headed down by Signorelli. Mitchell picks it up. Gives back to Clark. Over to Campbell. Wants Moody in front of him. Can't handle it on the first touch. Hornets will build across the back line. Lynchburg's been stellar at home so far this season. 8-0-1, the tie coming against the then number 22 team in the country, CNU. Last year, Lynchburg went 3-2-1 at home, 5-1 on the road. A little bit of a reverse split, but this year, without a loss on Schellenberger Field, looking to continue that trend tonight. Out in front 1-0, less than 18 minutes in the first half. Averett over to Kearns. Right in front of Nocera. Phillips gets it over to Foley, and he was trying to make that pass a moment ago, but Signorelli wisely understands that Lynchburg is very content passing across the back line, being patient, reversing sides of the field, trying to find a seam and an opening to build and send the attack towards. But Signorelli initially had cut off that center back to center back pass. Ultimately, Foley does get the pass from Phillips. Lagana leaves. Soft touch pass right behind Seth Dale, picked up by Signorelli. Whistle's called. Looks like it'll go against Nick Foley and the Lynchburg Hornets. Playing it quick. Off the restart. Nocera. Over to Campbell. Nothing doing for Virginia Wesleyan despite getting into the attacking third. Justin Ennis has not been tested yet. No shots on goal, and that was something we pointed out before the broadcast began. Just 3 shots on goal over the last 5 games played with Ennis between the posts. And Justin Ennis has been a very quality keeper throughout the year. Don't get me wrong, 1.01 goal against average, save percentage just about 70%, a couple of shutouts. Lynchburg has gotten plenty of quality play. Foul on the play. It's going to go against Moody. But overall, the strength of Lynchburg's defense has been through that back line, and just 3 shots on goal over the last 5 matches says it all. It was Moody working against Lagana, 11 on 11. The result of the play is Joey Daly standing over the ball. Free kick chance. From just beyond the attacking third mark, sent towards Shalita. Can't settle it down with the right foot. Instead, it's Kearns trying to keep it with Lynchburg. Foley, good dribbling from the grad student. Gets it back out to Robles. Across the box, headed down by Campbell. Shalita takes the rebound chance off the hip of Campbell. Mega picks it up. Gets it to Daly. Right in front of Everett McCloskey, freshman from Pennsylvania. Started every game but 1 this year. That was against Greensboro. So Virginia Wesleyan halts the rush from Lynchburg, at least for a moment. The Hornets send it back to the back line. There you see Signorelli doing that once more, this time trying to take away the angle from Dale, looking for Foley. And it's just interesting to see a team that is aware of Lynchburg and that play style and how they are very content swinging it from one end of the field to the other across that 4-man back line. What happens when you take that away? Interesting thought experiment. We'll see if we get an answer tonight. Phillips brings it into Virginia Wesleyan territory. Pass taken away. Nice play from Nocera. Mitchell to Signorelli. Back once more to Mitchell. Had to hit the brakes to collect the pass. Foley knocks Signorelli down, and that will be an easy foul call for our official to make. And it could prove to be a costly one. Under 14 minutes left in the first half, and now a set-piece chance. Looks like Phillips trying to make a play on the ball carrier as opposed to the ball. Couple of Marlins over the ball. It's Andrew Gloss flanking right. Left side, it's Ethan Clark. Clark will take, sends it right to the 12. Foley gets ahead on it. Ricochets it all the way out to Brennan Lagana. When the sophomore gets ahead of steam, he is sure hard to slow down. The Jets are turned on. Now forced to halt the attack because he had no other Hornets with him. Trying to make the run against seemingly the entire back line for Virginia Wesleyan. But you saw that touch from Lagana. Got it past the second defender that was coming on in his direction. And once he got it through, and it wasn't sent back by that Marlin defender, Lagana took it to a whole nother gear. Nothing to show from it, but those breakaway opportunities could be deadly. Lynchburg gets another crack at it. Whistle blown, they'll stop the clock with 12:43 in the first half. Ethan Clark coming up a little lame on the play. He's going to trot towards the sideline. And the freshman from Springfield, Virginia, John Michael Maldonado, comes on at Clark's place. 18th game played for Maldonado. And there's 3 more subs waiting to check in for Virginia Wesleyan. One number I can see is number 18. That's Aria Kimiavi. Referee has a chat with Foley. Now play back underway. And we'll give you the rest of those Virginia Wesleyan subs as we see them check in. Liam Lovell entered the match just a moment ago for Lynchburg. Phillips to the far side. It's Daly. Sent back by Mega. Foley to Kearns. One senior to another. Kearns gives to Phillips. Dale to the midfield. Left-footed strike and a good pass from Kearns. Mega had a step on Campbell, but was sent to the post where there's a second and third defender in the form of the end line and sideline there to help Campbell. Going to be a throw-in for Lynchburg. Lagana again with the honors. Still waiting for those 3 subs for Virginia Wesleyan to check in. Moody, the first one to get ahead on it. Phillips heads it back to Carter Averett. Ultimately goes across the near sideline. Also had Nick Foley in the vicinity. There you see Luke Mega, the lone goal scorer on the night. That came in penalty kick chance. They're going to have possession stay with Lynchburg. So Lagana this time is going to play it short for Seth Dale. Bends it right to the top of the 18. Foley gets a foot on it. Rolls all the way towards the far sideline. Mega and Daly not on the same page. Robles retreating all the way back to the back line. Not a spot you see him at very often. Hornets back across midfield and on cue. Flag goes up. Our AR rules that it was out across that sideline. Those subs finally check in. Already talked about Kimiavi. Also checking in is Josh Condit, as well as Noah McBride, sophomore from Stafford, Virginia, with a goal and 3 assists this year. That score came against North Carolina Wesleyan. Condit over to Nocera. Back for Campbell. Chipped ahead. Foley hits the turf. He was marked up on Condon. Robles and Nocera. Battle for the loose ball. Foul will go against Virginia Wesleyan. Some more extracurricular activities after the play. There's the highlight. Robles and Nocera get physical. Clock is going to stop with 9:07 left in the first half. Referee trying to sort out some of the chaos, beginning to build. It's a high-leverage situation, right? These two teams are looking to get into the ODAC championship game. For Lynchburg, it's one step closer to potentially repeating. For Virginia Wesleyan, you get a step closer to winning conference title for the first time since 2013. Because of that, you're going to see some physical play tonight, which in turn is going to result on shoulders of the referees trying to figure out how much you can let continue to play on and when you blow the whistle. No easy decision to be made. We'll see how that materializes throughout the rest of this match. McBride ahead to Nocera, taken away by Kearns. Even numbers, 4-on-4. Kearns over to Mega. Draws a second defender from Moody. Lagana for Lovell. Junior from Haymarket, Virginia. Stands in front of Andrew Glass. Takes it to the end line. Third defender coming for Virginia Wesleyan. They're going to say last touch by a Marlin. Going across the end line. Corner opportunity coming for Lynchburg. There you see Lovell. 2 goals, 2 assists this year. One of the key reserves for the Hornets. A couple of subs check in for Lynchburg, including Zach Whelan and Patrick Bakunis, sophomore and senior respectively. Daly's going to take the near side corner. If you haven't seen a Lynchburg game yet this year, that will be the case. On this end of the pitch, Daly's going to use that left foot and try to bend it towards the post. And on this end of the field, it's going to be Kenny Robles on the far side. And then once we get to the second half and it switches, as to the corner takers, it'll be Robles on the near side and Daly on the far end post. We'll stop in the play as ninth grade coach Chris Mills talks to our head official. Now the whistle blown. Daly takes the corner, finds the head of Phillips flying in, and it's so tough to try to keep that ball down, but Phillips makes good contact, but a little too strong, and it goes over the top post. Another sub on for Virginia Wesleyan. Michael Nocera checks out. And coming on for Nocera is the freshman from Springfield, Virginia, Joyno Belove. Joyno Belove, a goal. That came against Bridgewater down the stretch at the end of the regular season. Poked away by Daly. They're going to say off the foot of a Marlin. The award a throw-in. The Hornets. Play will be stopped and a yellow card is awarded. And it looks like it might have gone to Alex Moody. And Moody continues to plead his case. You have to be careful here. Once you get one yellow, assuming that was on Moody, you don't want to go down the slippery slope and get that second. Moody, a sophomore from Portsmouth, Virginia. Started every game but one this year. 5 goals, 1 assist. And part of what made that play so confusing, it didn't really look like yellow was directed right at Moody, instead towards the sideline. So a little awkward encounter there. Once I officially know that yellow was given to Moody, I will relay that information to each and every one of you all who are tuning in with us on this Wednesday night, which I thank you for doing so. ODAC semifinals, men's soccer bracket. Lynchburg the 2 seed, Virginia Wesleyan the 6th seed, looking to continue the Cinderella run after defeating 3 seed Randolph-Macon in Ashland, Virginia, 1-0. Loose ball gathered by Covarrubias. Ahead was McBride. Lynchburg creates the turnover, looking long in the direction of Lagana. Last touch by Seth Dale. Throw in from Andrew Glass. And as it stands right now, via the live stats, instead it looks like that yellow card was given to Arya Kimiavi, freshman from Reston, Virginia. Didn't check in all that long ago. Now you see the officials talking to the Virginia Wesleyan bench, trying to push them away from the sideline as the official talks to Coach Chris Mills. Alex Moody enters the conversation as well. And as Moody continues to talk with the ref right around midfield, you see it on your screen now. It's a passionate conversation for the sophomore. As the conversation continues on, here's the resume for Chris Mills. 9th year as his head coach. Won the ODAC championship 2013. Was the first NCAA appearance for Virginia Wesleyan since 2009. Mills won ODAC Coach of the Year in that same year. And prior to becoming the head coach, he was the assistant for 5 years with the Marlins, as well as the associate head coach for another. He is an alum to Virginia Wesleyan, class of 2006. 3-year starter. Men's soccer team earned all ODAC honors 3 separate times. Carl Makinich heading towards the sideline. Looks like he attempted to check in. They're going to send him back towards the sideline. Another throw in for Virginia Wesleyan as play gets back underway. It was flicked up by Jano Belov. Nothing doing for the Marlins. Those subs will check in. It's Trevor Miller and Carl Makinich. They'll check in for Lagana and Mega. And it serves as an extended halftime break for both Lagana and Luke Mega. 2 players that, assuming this match stays close, that Lynchburg is going to look to down the stretch for a big moment late. It's currently 1-0. If you missed it, goal came from junior Luke Mega, his 4th of the postseason already. That was in the 23rd minute. Penalty kick chance. Less than 5 minutes, first half. Pass sent towards Makinich. Then deflected out to Carter Averett. Patrick Bakunis parlays it up the near sideline. Liam Lovell a step away from getting to it. Instead, Andrew Glass able to clear. And it looks like they're going to award possession to Virginia Wesleyan. Must have gone off the body of Lovell. Headed forward by Griffin Phillips. Makinich trying to find Miller. Those two just subbed in together a moment ago. Virginia Wesleyan able to get it away from their back line. Moody looking to get it across midfield. Nice play from Bakunis. Sliding and defecting pass out across the far sideline. Allows Lynchburg defense to get set. Forces a throw in for the Marlins. Lots of contact. The foul is blown. As Foley hits the turf. Take one more look at it. It's been physical all night. That trend continues. Looked like Jano Belov was the guilty party. Lynchburg was looking for the obstruction call as Daly Nearly able to bring it all the way forward for Lynchburg all by himself. Marlins looking for a big clear, and they get it all the way back out to Phillips. Rolls it back to Ennis. Currently a 9-0 shot advantage for Lynchburg. Keep in mind, Virginia Wesleyan came today with more shots on the season. Currently second in the conference with 316, and not only more shots on the season, more shots per game, 16.6 mark for the Marlins compared to 14.7 for Lynchburg. So just over 2 minutes left in the first half. For Virginia Wesleyan to be without a shot in 45 minutes, that speaks volumes about how well Lynchburg has played so far. Not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive end, keeping possession, right? It's hard for Virginia Wesleyan to get a shot of the ball at their feet. Kunis gives back to Phillips. Over to Dale. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half, and just called Dale's name a moment ago, I beg your pardon. And he really feels like I won't call him the unsung hero because that entire back line really plays well, but Phillips and Foley have both found the back of the net, as has Daly. Dale has an assist this year, but he's just a part of how good that defensive back four really is. Just may not have the offensive numbers to go with it, and what that leads to is people who look at the box score and the overall stats, they may overlook the importance of Seth Dale, but junior's started every game, seldomly checks out. Like I said, just as big a part of how good that defense is as anybody else on the back line for the Hornets. Booted all the way inside the 6. Potter leaps, gets his hands on it. Less than a minute to go in the first half. McBride picks it up for Virginia Wesleyan. Lays it off. Condit has it taken away. Marlins looking for the handball call. Might have had a case for it. Might have incidentally hit the forearm of Averett. No call, however. Whelan pushes into the attacking third, ahead for Miller. Freshman backs it back out to Whelan, who had the game winner against Randolph. Goes with a low rolling shot. Potter lays out. Picks up another save. 10th shot of the first half for Lynchburg. And it'll serve as the final play of the first half. 1-0 Lynchburg out in front of Virginia Wesleyan through 45 minutes of this ODAC men's soccer semifinal matchup. 2-6 battle between the Hornets and the Marlins. Don't go anywhere. We're going to step aside, then come back, give you some stats and figures from the first 45 minutes of play. So plenty to stick around for. So don't go anywhere. More between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan coming to you on LHSN.
If you want to know your customers, shop where they shop. Live where they live. And spend time with them as neighbors. With over 100 local offices, Virginia Farm Bureau agents are part of your community. If you want insurance from a company that knows you, get to know us.
Be ready for anything, okay?
Come on, let's go together! Together, let's go! Come on! Let's go, keep going!
There is the best to it.
Straight? Straight up, yep. Okay.
Cool. Good one. All right, guys, you see the meat grinder down here? Stay in the boat, let's go.
Camera? Oh, what you think of that? Woo!
Field turf was built on innovation, dating back to our invention of long-piled infield turf, which revolutionized the industry. Today, we offer a series of game-changing fibers, high-performance infills, sport-specific applications, and smart field technology. Field turf. Let's change the game together.
Get small classes, nationally recognized mentoring and advising, and a community that has your back every step of the way at the University of Lynchburg.
Welcome back to Schellenberger Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. We're at the break. Lynchburg out in front of Virginia Wesleyan 1-0. TJ Wingert here with you as you're watching this ODAC semifinal battle on LHS 10. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this Wednesday night. Give you some of the numbers from the first 45 minutes of play. And you hear me say this a lot, it feels like, on these LHSN broadcasts. The numbers tell the story. Numbers don't lie. 10 shots to none for Virginia Wesleyan. Lynchburg out in front of that category. And, like I said, it tells a story. Possession dominated by the Hornets. Ball was not only at the feet of Lynchburg a ton, and more often than not in positive territory, and had plenty of opportunities inside the attacking third. The goal comes from a penalty kickoff of Luke Mega drawing a foul inside the 18, but there have been plenty of other looks. You see the two corners as well. There have also been a handful of throw-ins deep into Virginia Wesleyan territory for Lynchburg, and we've seen Bailey Kearns be able to head it back, but then nothing thereafter. Griffin Phillips actually had a really good second head, but he sailed it up and over the post. Meanwhile, for Virginia Wesleyan, nothing but zeros, then 4 saves for your senior keeper, Griffin Potter. Those numbers are going to have to change in the second half if you want to overcome the 1-goal deficit and then ultimately overcome and try to advance and come away as the victors and then take on the winner of Randolph and Washington and Lee. So there are some of the numbers. Also want to give you an update from Lexington, Virginia. It's now 1-1 at the break. Goal from Samuel Bass for the Generals ties it up. That goal came in the 32nd minute after Noah Carney opened the scoring in the 26th. So those teams knotted up through 45 here in Lynchburg. It's 1-0 Lynchburg out in front of Virginia Wesleyan. We're going to step aside, come back with some highlights from the first half. So don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between the Hornets and the Marlins on LHSN.
Living the dream. USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the Athletic Training Laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
One 0 at the break. Hornets out in front of the Marlins in the ODAC semifinals. 2-6 battle, juxtaposed to the 1-4 contest out in Lexington, Virginia, with WNL hosting Randolph. We're bringing you back with just over 6 minutes left until the second half. Here are some of the highlights in the first 45 minutes of play. And as they play, I want to highlight a few individual statistics. We talked about team stats. 4 shots so far for Luke Mega, 3 of which are on goal. And, of course, he has the lone goal of the match so far. Kenny Robles has a shot, and it was on goal for Lynchburg. Other shots coming from Griffin Phillips, Nick Foley, Bailey Kearns, Monzi Shalita. A shot, and it was on goal for Zach Wynn at the very end of the first half. And on the other side, Virginia Wesleyan, no shots so far. And they have used 6 subs so far, 1 more than Lynchburg. So overall, the player you have to talk about for Virginia Wesleyan is Griffin Potter, who I think has looked pretty good. Only goal he gives up is on the goal kick, penalty kick, which is a tough stop to come up with as is. But then Mega hesitates at the last second right before, so Mega sees which direction Potter's leaning in, and then after that it's simply just tap it into the other side. Overall, though, Potter has played very well tonight, has 4 saves on the 5 shots on goal he has faced. But now it comes down to finding some offense to help out Griffin Potter. We're going to step aside one final time, come back just before the second half begins, talk about some adjustments both sides can make. So don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan coming to you from Lynchburg, Virginia.
If you like being close with your professors, if you like being in small classes that help with one-on-one, if you like being in positive communities that help you train your weak points and strengthen your strong points, then the University of Lynchburg is a great place to go. You can never go wrong with the amount of help that they offer, the amount of self-sacrifice that other people will put in for you. It has a beautiful campus, it has dedicated teachers, it has nice students, it has fun activities, and it has plenty of things to do.
Never think that your donation is in vain, because you're helping out hundreds of students that are just like me, who need a shot and who are getting one. Without donations, without you individuals that are helping to donate to the university and the Lynchburg Fund, there would be no student body president, Davion Washington. There'd probably be I'm stuck at home, Davion Washington. Not only is your donation building leaders, but it's building leaders like myself and others that will hopefully want to pay it forward one day and do the same thing. I know for a fact that, when I have it, because I will, I want to give back to this university that provided me a home for 4 years.
We're set and ready for the second half between Lynchburg and Virginia Wesleyan, coming to you on LHSN. It's 1-0 through 45 minutes. The Marlins looking to get that score back. Meanwhile, Lynchburg looking to get back to the ODAC championship game, which they won last year against Guilford, 5-1. Virginia Wesleyan in pursuit of their first ODAC championship since 2013. Good crowd on hand on the far side of Dr. Jack Tom's track. Lots of fans rooting for their Lynchburg Hornets. Score update from Lexington, Virginia. Randolph stretches back in front. And it's now 2-1 Wildcats over the Generals. The second score comes from their own Tucker just as the second half got underway, the 49th minute. We'll continue to update you on that 1-4 battle between the Generals and the Wildcats. But here in Lynchburg, let's talk adjustments for both these teams. Starting with Virginia Wesleyan, you need to get the goal and then some, try to advance the ODAC championship game. And really comes down to seeing what this offense has in store. And it's largely that. What does the offense look like? We haven't really seen a whole lot of the offense so far, as Lynchburg feels like controlled possession maybe 90% of the way through the match. And when we did see Virginia Wesleyan have chances, it was a pass, maybe two, and then that was all. So I want to see what this Marlins offense looks like. Try to build a run in the other side. And keep in mind, you're one play away, one sequence, 2-3 passes, and a shot finding the back of the net. And next thing you know, it's a brand-new ball game. For Lynchburg, you'd love to see more of the same from the first half. Control possession, be patient, continue the pristine passing. That's really when this team is playing at its best. When the passing is clean, especially along the back line in the midfield, this is a tough team to compete against. They play really well at all three levels. It just comes down to maintaining possession, getting to the feet of players like Carter Avert, who swings it over to Joey Daly, but even more so, weapons like Luke Mega, Brendan Lagana, Kenny Robles, who are all out to start the second half for the Hornets. Just some of my thoughts. We'll see what the more experienced minds have come together. It's Coach Chris Yeager for Lynchburg, former player and assistant at Virginia Wesleyan, and it's ninth-year head coach Chris Mills for the Marlins. Ahead, Lagana is back against Braylon Johnson. Second defender steps up and takes it away. That was John Michael Maldonado. Once again, a couple of passes for the Marlins, and as they try to build up the far sideline, nothing doing. Kearns over to Mega. Sends it to Lagana, just in front of the 6-yard box. It's then broken up, sent across the sideline. Lagana trots to the near side for the throw-in. First run we've seen of the second half. Mega draws the attention of two separate defenders. Good rotation defense overall for Virginia Wesleyan. That third defender steps up and accounts for Lagana. Sophomore tosses in. Foley heads it down. Top of the 18. Shalita with the left foot. Misses everything. Griffin Potter now with the goal kick. 4 saves in the first half. Potter finished the regular season tied for ODAC most, 124 saves. And that was with conference best 89.2% save percentage. So not only did he rack up a lot of saves, he was able to stop opposing shots at a pretty high clip. Certainly a good case for him to be the ODAC first team all-conference keeper. If not first team, certainly going to see him in the second or third. Nice play for Mega, keeping it in. Gets it back to Daly. Junior gives back to the senior. Flicks ahead. Lagana off the chest twice. Settles. It's Kearns. Tussling with Maldonado. Foul is called to go against Bailey Kearns. Fifth-year player from Broad Run, Virginia. The guilty party. You tell us. Result of the play is the free kick just beyond midfield. Braylon Johnson with the honors. Good leg. Sends it parallel to the 12. Daly gets a head on it. Nods it back out. Out of the defensive third for Lynchburg. Nice play from Matthew Goldberg. Sliding in and keeping possession with Virginia Wesleyan. And you feel like if the Marlins can try to get a score early on here in the second half, it'd be a huge boost for not only momentum but morale. If you're familiar with these LHSN broadcasts, I refer to the last 5 of the first half, first 5 of the second half, these momentum minutes. They feel like they carry some extra gravitas in regards to momentum and morale in specific. You get that score just before the break, it feels like it completely shifts the tones, and if you steal one just at the onset of the second half, just like Randolph did against Washington Lee, it feels like it gives the game a whole new complexion. And especially in Virginia Wesleyan situation. If you find the equalizer, shot misses just wide left. That was the chance from Everett McCloskey. That was what I was talking about. If McCloskey converts on that, we're talking 1-1 and a brand new match. Really nice ball into the box. It was actually headed down by a Hornet. McCloskey comes in from the backside and nearly bent it home on the left post. First shot of the day is a beautiful one for the Marlins, but it comes up empty. Sent away by Ennis. Lofted up and out of play by Virginia Wesleyan. Throw in for the Hornets. Marlins half the pitch. All-time series history goes in the favor of Virginia Wesleyan. 2013-6 against Lynchburg, but the Hornets have taken the last 3. Last time that the Marlins got the best of the Hornets all the way back in 2015. And Lynchburg has not dropped one at home in a long time against Virginia Wesleyan. All-time 10-6-3 here on Schellenberger Field against VWU. Daly sends it out to midfield, headed down by Maldonado, picked up by Kenny Robles. Here's a breakaway chance for Lynchburg. Johnson, the lone defender, as Robles crosses back over Maldonado, gets a foot on it, and slows down the Lynchburg attack, and Robles thought he had Kearns closer, trying to lay it back for the fifth-year man. Instead, it's picked up by the Marlins. And this is a match where if we see a second goal, it's going to dictate the entirety of the rest of this match. If it was Virginia Wesleyan, say, able to bend that shot home from McCloskey, obviously that has a completely different complexion compared to if it's Robles, say, converting on that last run for Lynchburg. There's a whole lot of weight underneath the potential second score in this match. Here's a set-piece chance for Virginia Wesleyan. Looking for the equalizer. 38 minutes left in regulation. Just in front of the post. Stays live. McCloskey Tries to center it up. Now able to do so. Sails over the head of Tovar and out of play. Goal kick coming for the senior from Gainesville, Virginia, Justin Ennis. You didn't hear me call Everett McCloskey's name a whole lot in the first half, but someone that started every game but one this year. Tallied 2 goals, 33 shots. Tovar lets it fly. This is wide right, so it's not a shot on goal, but the second shot of the night nonetheless for Virginia Wesleyan. And now we're seeing Marlins build some offensive success upon itself. We talked about it midway through the first half when it was a 5-0 Lynchburg shot advantage. It feels like the first step is getting that first shot, and it feels like that has been true in the second half. Started with a really good look. Now you get a second, and you're just putting pressure, forcing Lynchburg's defense to stay honest. Like I said, right as we got underway in the second half, it takes one clean sequence. A couple of good passes, a good finish, and you're right back into it, tied up 1-1. Maldonado cuts off the pass. Looking for Tovar ahead. Marked up by Averett. McCloskey's offside. Foley was the first one to it for Lynchburg anyways. I'm sure you can tell by players on the pitch as Ennis boots it away. It's a cold night here in Lynchburg, Virginia. It was last night. A pair of quarterfinal wins for Lynchburg women's soccer as well as the field hockey team. It's the men's soccer program, the semifinals tonight. Looking to advance the championship game. That would be played on Saturday. Daly crosses, Robles finishes, Lynchburg moves ahead 2-0. A beautiful sequence. The Hornets strike quick and double their lead. 5th goal of the season for Robles. Mega starts it. Beautiful pass from Daly. Good for the 3rd assist of the year for the senior. We talked about how important that second goal is going to be. It goes in the favor of Lynchburg. Hornets firmly in the driver's seat now. Have a little bit of insurance as well. Now the pressure's really on for Virginia Wesleyan. Down to potentially the last 35.5 minutes of their season. Taking on both Lynchburg and the game clock now. Slide tackle. A clean one at that for Phillips. Signorelli otherwise might have a good opportunity to pirouette along the end line. Good ball into the box, intended for McCloskey. This is everybody, and Joey Daly wisely on that play. Avoids contact, lets it go across the end line. And you'll more than likely see something like this for every goal kick chance that Ennis has. Play it short, build across the back line. Be patient, you're not in a rush. Use the clock to your advantage. But likewise, that does allow Virginia Wesleyan to pull numbers forward, try to apply a press. But that might be something that works into Lynchburg's favor. Very similar to basketball. If a team starts to press you, but you can pass well, very easy to break it. And then you create easy opportunities at the other end of the court. Very similar here for soccer, just on the pitch. Lagana a step away from being able to get to it. Instead, it's senior keeper Potter. Able to send it out. Moody over to Maldonado. Matt Campbell. Shalita has some space, some real estate in front of him, ahead for Mega. Back to the sophomore Shalita. Give and go once again. Shalita leaves it high and wide right. Nothing to show for it, but another nice offensive sequence for Lynchburg and clean passing specifically between these two. Mega lays it off Shalita from about 20 yards out. I know it's beyond the box, but that's a shot that Lynchburg will feel comfortable letting Shalita take. Robles wins possession for Lynchburg. Shalita ahead for Lagana. Tries to swing it back to Shalita. Instead, it's Johnson. Able to get it back to Potter, who then tries to clear, and it goes off the body of Johnson. Unfortunate turn of events there for Virginia Wesleyan. Results in a throw-in deep into positive territory for Lynchburg. You have to think if Lynchburg can net a third score, a little over 30 minutes left to be played, it would serve as a potential dagger. Lagana wanted Foley, headed away by Virginia Wesleyan. Robles keeps it with the Hornets. Try to get it out to Lagana. Turned over by Glass. Picked up by Robles, who scored second goal of the night for Lynchburg. Came off the assist from that man there, Joey Daly. Lofting it towards the 18. As Lynchburg leads 2-0. Update from Lexington, Virginia. Randolph maintains the 2-1 lead, 64th minute out at WNL. Now if Randolph, as the 4 seed, pulls off the upset, this Lynchburg men's soccer team would host the ODAC championship game this upcoming Saturday. Long throw-in, attempted by Goldberg. Ricocheted right back out to him. Maldonado attempts to settle. Johnson, pass off the mark. Closest Marlin was Scott Signorelli. Glass ahead with good pace. Gets it off to Nate Mitchell. Been quiet so far in the second half. Throw-in goes to Moody, back to Glass. Once more to Moody. Hits the brakes. Kern steps up as the primary defender. Aggressive slide tackle, and the whistle is blown. Foul will go against Moody. We've seen a handful of lengthy discussions tonight between Moody and our main official. Here it is one more time. And it was Robles going down holding that right shin. Play results in free kick for Lynchburg. Phillips over it. Gives back to Ennis. Mega back to Averett. Less than 30 minutes to be played. Hornets in no rush. Foley wants Daly. Instead, it's taken away by McCloskey. Daly fields the contact. Whistle's blown, but it's because the ball goes out across the near sideline. Throw in for Lynchburg. A couple of Lynchburg players waiting to check in. Won't do so Not quite yet. Daly ahead. Wanted Kearns. Braylon Johnson does a good job not letting Kearns have a clean angle. Long ball from Daly. Potter blasts out towards the attacking third for Virginia Wesleyan. And a foul called against Scott Signorelli. He tries to make his case, but instead, Lynchburg garners the extra possession. Daly over to Kearns. Maldonado in front of him. Out wide for Dale. Ahead now it's Robles. Closest defender is Glass. Then Mitchell steps up. Defends from the backside. Chalita has plenty of real estate in front of him. Parlays over to Kearns. Signorelli. The top of the formation for Virginia Wesleyan. Applying essentially a one-man press against the two center backs for Lynchburg. Johnson working against Daly. Goes across the end line. Waiting to see the official ruling. It looks like it's going to be a corner kick coming in for Lynchburg. Subs will check into the contest for the Hornets. It's Patrick Pacunas, Zach Whelan. These two checked in with one another midway through the first half. They come on for Bailey Kearns and Monty Shalita. Robles to the near side post. Low line drive cross. Deflected away by the Marlins. Picked up by Mega. Swings it all the way back over to Robles. Lynchburg tries it again. Pass from Robles sent right to Potter. Gets his hands on it. Kunis takes it away. Tovar watches it go across the sideline. Looked like he was going to take the throw in. Instead, he's going to give that to Matthew Goldberg, junior from Fredericksburg, Virginia, with the goal this year. Game against Regent. Goldberg to Signorelli. Heads it softly right to Justin Innes. Not cleanly hit by Goldberg, so it's cued out towards midfield. Carl Makinich enters the contest for Lynchburg. He'll give Kenny Robles a breather. Now a 13-3 shot advantage for Lynchburg. 6 of those 13 shots on goal, 1 of the 3 for Virginia Wesleyan on net. .25 minutes in counting left to be played. Pacunas to Makinich. Back to Dale. Virginia Wesleyan trying to pour numbers forward. Apply some pressure, create a turnover. You got to eat into that 2-goal deficit. Pass off the mark from Daly, but Averett's there to gather. Mega, nice spin, creates some space for himself. Gets it ahead to Lagana, who's going to be ruled offside. Potter to take just beyond the 18. Possession won by Zach Whelan. Whelan continues to be a really impressive player for Lynchburg. As the year goes on, he seems to get better and better, and he gets more minutes because of it. Nice deep connection. It's Lagana. 2 defenders in front of him. Gets it back to Mega. Poked away by Goldberg. Picked up. Tovar. Wheeling behind him. Tries to send it long. McSlosky, the intended target. Laying out Joey Daly. Comes up a little gimpy, favoring that left leg. Some subs check on for Virginia Wesleyan, including Josh Condit. Show Jano Belove. As well as Noah McBride, who's the intended target on this throw-in. Doesn't look like Goldberg and McBride on the same page. Lagana's pass well out in front of Mega. Lynchburg turns it right back over. Throw-in goes to Jerron Berry. Berry, a junior from Norfolk, Virginia. Kunis able to get it off to Wheelan. Looks ahead for Lagana or Makinich. Split the difference between the two. Berry, nice touch pass, has McBride back to Berry. Daly gets a foot on it. Gets it to Ennis. Skies it to midfield. Now this game settled into a bit of an equilibrium state. Two teams sharing possession. Neither team able to get off a great look, but here's an opportunity for Lynchburg. Lagana heads it down to himself. He's inside the 18, lets it fly. Up and over the post. Lagana down inside the 6. This is a worrisome sight for Lynchburg fans. Take one more look. Long ball ahead. Lagana was 1-on-1 against Potter. He's had it miss high of the post. Lagana's going to check out and try to limp his way over to the sideline. Trevor Miller has already checked in for the Hornets. You can see Lagana. It's going to be checked down by the athletic trainers. Hoping the best for the sophomore from Burlington, North Carolina. We'll update you if Lagana returns to the match, but with 22 minutes left, it's 2-0 Lynchburg. Wouldn't deem it all that likely. Play gets back underway now. Goldberg, Condit, sets down, trying to find Nocera. Cued away by Foley, picked up by Makinich. Swings it over to Michael Rendon, who, a senior, Chesterfield, Virginia, collected his first collegiate goal. Season finale, playing host to Bridgewater was senior day, and a couple of PK chances afforded the opportunity for Daly and Michael Rendon. Tack on a couple of scores. Goldberg forced to clear it across the end line. It's going to be a corner chance, far side post for Lynchburg. Daly's going to trot out to that far side post. This is exactly what I tried to explain in the first half. Daly will take it from the corner that allows him to use that left-footed strike and bend it towards the front of the post. And on the other end of the pitch, it'll be Kenny Robles trying to do the same thing, but with the right foot. Inside the 6, headed down by Foley. Does a good job. Angling shot downward, but Potter reads it perfectly. That might be the best save of the night for Potter. And it's just no easy play to just read in the split second right in front of you. The stop for Virginia Wesleyan keeps it at 2-0. The opportunity is still ajar, but you need to score quick for the Marlins. Rendon takes it away. That won't help. Kunis can't settle it on the first touch. Virginia Wesleyan looks long. Foley wins it for the Hornets. Daly's pass off the leg of Condit. Throw in for Lynchburg. Less than 20 minutes away from advancing to the ODAC championship game for the second time in as many years. And an update, Washington and Lee just tied it up in Lexington, Virginia. 2-2. Goal comes in the 77th minute from Tyler Smith. Back and forth battle between the Wildcats and the Generals. As that game draws closer and closer to the end of regulation, we will continue to give you updates. Taken away, it's picked up by Makinich. Potter lays out, gets his hands on it. Still live. The pass from Makinich forces the Lynchburg attack to halt. Now Whelan lets it fly and misses it all. Whelan had a similar shot opportunity against Randolph, and it was the game winner. Just snuck underneath the top post in a 2-1 road win for the Hornets. Came at the beginning of what's now been 8 consecutive wins for Lynchburg, of course dating back to the regular season. And the Hornets a little over 8.5 minutes away from picking up their 7th shutout over the last 12 matches. Again, we talk about the offense a lot. Mega garners a lot of attention. You have to talk about Robles. Lagana's always a threat to score. But the defense might be the better side of this team. That's obviously a topic for debate, but this is as well-rounded a team as there is in the ODAC. And 2 of the 4 losses this year for Lynchburg came against Washington and Lee, who is in jeopardy of losing at home in the semis. And if Randolph does pull off the upset, the ODAC championship game would be here if WNL can persevere, come out on top, and stave off the Wildcats. Championship game will be played at Lexington, Virginia, despite whoever wins this one. Free kick, nothing doing for the Marlins. Rolls all the way back out to midfield. Bakunis picks it up. No numbers advantage. 2-on-3. Bakunis threads the needle perfectly. Daly had the assist on the second goal. Sends a missile right to the waiting hands of Potter. And how about the play of Griffin Potter over the last 5 minutes or so of game time? And a little mishap here as Enes has to go off his foot and across the end line. Corner opportunity for Virginia Wesleyan. No McBride out to the post. Marlins obviously having to work quickly. McBride, a goal, 3 assists this season. Sophomore from Stafford, Virginia. With the left foot. Sends it to the far side of the 6-yard box, and it's ultimately blasted away. Looks like by Trevor Miller. Another stop for this Lynchburg defense, which, like I said, can be suffocating, and that's certainly been the case tonight. To continue my point about Potter, the potential final game of his collegiate career, the senior from Maryland has put together a beyond impressive performance over the last 5 minutes. And even just in that last sequence for Lynchburg, has Carl Makinich inside the 18. Potter's charging out, stops the shot. It's ricocheted back out. Whelan then sails it up and over the post. And then not but a few moments later, comes through with another momentous stop, and he has given it all just to keep it at 2-0. Now looking for some help from his offense late in the contest. 17-3 shot advantage for Lynchburg. Tells the story of this one, however. Rendon versus McBride. Virginia Wesleyan looking for the handball call against Whelan. They won't get it. Bakunis takes the contact from behind, and it goes against Alex Moody. Here it is once again. Pacunas with those fresh legs as a reserve. He's tough to keep up with, especially if you're someone like Alex Moody, been out there all night long. We'll let you decide if that was a foul or not. Gives Lynchburg another free kick chance. Daly to take. He had the most recent shot against Potter, and it was another fantastic save. Point blank for the senior keeper. Daly finds the one-man wall. Now turned over. Marlins forced to play direct. Condit, the top of the attack, has it cleared. Actually goes well past Westover Halls, the other end of the pitch. No, Sarah tried to track it down just outside the box, but good clear comes from Miller. Pacunas looking long for Mega. He opened today's scoring. Scoring on the PK. That was done on the 23rd minute of play. Second goal, if you missed it, was in the 55th minute from Kenny Robles, assisted by Joey Daly. Trevor Miller working against Matthew Goldberg. Now, Matthew Goldberg's put in some good minutes tonight. Junior from Fredericksburg, Virginia. As he battles against the freshman Trevor Miller, who has been really impressive. The more opportunities he's gotten, the more we've gotten to see him. Bailey Kearns returns to the field of play, as does Liam Lovell. Throw in for Lynchburg. Makinich toss in the direction of Miller. Won't be able to find the Smithfield, Virginia native. Who continuing to talk about Miller. 13th game played this year. And he's just one of those reserves, but he has a different body and build to him. A little more physical, wants to back down the closest defender. And when he presses in specific, given his size, he's tough to get around. Long strides, too, helps him keep up with just about anybody in front of him. Really been impressive, and he's gotten better as the year's gone on. Here's another look at the foul going against Noah McBride. Foley tries to swing it out to the far side, wants Lovell. Taps it down past Glass. Delivers a hearty blow to Pacunas. No foul on the play. Cleared across the far sideline by Virginia Wesleyan. Marlins down to potentially less than 12 minutes in their season. Lovell creates some space for himself. Pass. A touch too far left for Pacunas. Both teams vying for the foul. Lynchburg wanted the handball. Virginia Wesleyan's going to get the call against, I believe, Foley. No Sarah over the ball. Now it's going to let Potter take it instead. From the left foot, Ennis flies in and collects it himself. And it was actually fun looking at Justin Ennis on your screen. He had the opportunity to play against his brother in the quarterfinals against Shenandoah. With about 10 minutes or so left, Shenandoah decided to check in his brother Colin. In the final minutes, the two Ennis brothers stood contrasted to one another. Justin Ennis in his senior season, Colin Ennis Jr. for Shenandoah, under head coach Zach McDougall. Makinich trying to find any space he can against Arya Kimiavi, who had the yellow card in the first half, and now Kimiavi seemingly be given a second, and that might be just a statting error. He didn't truly get the first in the first half because Kimiavi has not left the pitch yet. And Kimiavi tried to walk away, and it was not a statting error. Second yellow on the night, and Kimiavi is done. Freshman walks to the sideline. And there's going to be a flurry of subs for both sides as the freshman campaign for Kimiavi seemingly comes to a close. Clock stops with 10:10 left in regulation. Daly finds the foot of Griffin Phillips, heels it right to Potter, who's waiting for it. Gathers and now look for the outlet. 88th minute in Lexington, Virginia. Still tied up 2-2 between Randolph and Washington and Lee. Barring a late score, that one is likely headed to overtime. McBride takes a chance, leaves it wide left. Kenny Robles, Monty Shalita, Carter, Averett back into the match. Scott Signorelli returns to the contest for Virginia Wesleyan, as does Nate Mitchell. Nine minutes left. Lovell tracks to the middle of the pitch. Ahead for Kearns. Laid off, wanted Miller. It looks like Trevor Miller got 1 foot on it, then lost it along the end line. Settled nicely. This is Jerron Berry trying to sneak it through to Signorelli. But it was Seth Dale halting the rush for the Marlins. And Miller applying the pressure. This is what I was talking about a moment ago. He can do a lot all by himself. Berry, first touch is too strong. Moody back to Johnson, over to Goldberg. Nice pass from Signorelli. McCloskey in front of Daly. Deflects it off the body of the senior. It's going to be a corner chance for Virginia Wesleyan. McCloskey trying to work quick. Less than 7.5 minutes left to be played. Flying in, Goldberg looked like he got a head on it, but immediately deflected away towards the sideline by a Lynchburg defender. Picked up by Shalita. Nice play. Janobilov steps up and gets a foot on it. Wins it right back for Virginia Wesleyan. Berry, race to the end line, tries to center it up off the body of Daly. Shalita, McCloskey both go for it, but Shalita gets it away to Lovell. Miller, the closest Hornet, try to help Lovell instead. Turns around, complete 360. It's picked up by Tovar. Hornets win it right back. Kearns flicks it forward. No one there to answer the call. Daly gets the deflection back. Kearns for Lovell. Braylon Johnson, who's been fielding a lot as the match has gone on. It feels like his workload has increased steadily. Luke Mega returns to the contest. Mega scoring off the PK earlier, his 12th goal of the year. Comes on and Level checks out. Actually, excuse me. Level is headed towards sideline, but he's going to stay in instead. It's Trevor Miller exiting the pitch. Cross from Robles. Wanted Kearns, who came soaring in. Couldn't get ahead on it. Instead, cleared by the Marlins. The far sideline. As bad a deep a throw-in as you can have. Update for Randolph, Washington and Lee. It's headed to overtime. Randolph looking to put not just the number 1 seed in the ODAC on upset alert, but the number 1 team in the country, Washington and Lee, in jeopardy of losing in the ODAC semifinals. It's 2 potential golden goal overtime periods. And if there is a victor who comes out on top before this game closes out, we will certainly let you know. Less than 5 minutes we played on Schellenberger Field. Potter fields it off the chest. Sends it into the Lynchburg sky. Shalita over to Lovell. Now it's Kearns, the left foot. Leaves it wide of the post. (19-4) shot advantage for Lynchburg. The Hornets looking for their 7th clean sheet over the last 12 matches played. And overall, assuming the score holds, it'd be the 9th consecutive win for Lynchburg. Daly picks it up. Gets it to Mega. Over to Shalita. Lynchburg's called offside. Shalita finds home and hits the back of the net, but it does not count. The AR blows the whistle a second time, signaling an end to that possession. It's still 2-0. Lynchburg out in front. Under 4 minutes to be played. And if you're wondering, last time Lynchburg suffered a loss, 3-1 at the hands of none other than Washington and Lee in the second meeting between the two teams this season. There might be a third meeting. WNL can come through in overtime. Otherwise, it's a rematch between Lynchburg and Randolph. Both squads located in Lynchburg, Virginia, maybe 15 minutes apart from one another. Lynchburg on the offensive end, certainly in no rush. Down under 3 minutes left in the contest. Head coach Chris Yeager going to be a game away from his potential 8th ODAC championship win. And I said this in the quarterfinals. The field is named after Bill Schellenberger, and rightfully so. A legend here on the campus of the University of Lynchburg, then Lynchburg College. But Chris Yeager is starting to stack up a resume that might rival the great Bill Schellenberger. Won Conference Coach of the Year 6 times, National Coach of the Year once. As I said, 7-time conference winner, including last year. Looking for conference title number 8, but not before this one's wrapped up. Lynchburg makes it 3-0. Kenny Robles hungry for more. His second of the night, 6th on the season. And there's your dagger. Barely got the step on Johnson, and off the hands of Potter it goes, deflected into the back of the net. On the 20th shot of the night, Lynchburg finds their 3rd score. Robles signals to the crowd, hyping up the Hornet faithful on the other end of the track. Now this one all but done as W&L and Randolph are now into their first overtime period. Long ball towards McCloskey. Barry gets his head on it. Skied upwards by Seth Dale. Moody tries to cross. Daly ahead now for Shalita. So Lynchburg is going to pick up their 9th consecutive win. They have not lost in over a month. Last L on the schedule was October 2nd at Washington and Lee, as I mentioned. Meanwhile, for Virginia Wesleyan, a valiant effort for the Marlins. They got the upset win in the quarterfinals at Randolph-Macon, winning 1-0. Goal came from Nate Mitchell in the 4th minute, but now 45 seconds and counting left in the Virginia Wesleyan season. Overall, a really strong year put on by 9th-year head coach Chris Mills. The Marlins are going to finish the season 12-4-4 overall, 4-3-3 in conference play. And lots of pieces to build with in the future. Alex Moody, you heard me call his name a ton tonight. He's a sophomore. Lynchburg looking for a potential last opportunity towards net. Nothing doing, but to continue my point, Juan Tovar, also heard me mention him a ton. He's a sophomore. Braylon Johnson, Ethan Clark, Nico Covarrubias, 3 freshmen, all members of the back line and got heavy playing time this season. So just to rattle off a few names, despite the season coming to a close for Virginia Wesleyan, in the ODAC semifinals, you made a push, you won a postseason game, and that means valuable experience gathered by a lot of these young players. It's one thing to reach the postseason, it's another thing to win a playoff game. And that's something that Virginia Wesleyan can say they did this postseason. But they fall at the hands of Lynchburg, 3-0. 9th consecutive win for the Hornets. They're now 14-4-1 on the year, 9-1 against ODAC opponents. And now they wait. Washington and Lee ran off in the 94th minute, still knotted up 2-2. If there's a goal in OT, that's your winner, and they will take on Lynchburg. If it's Randolph winning, we'll see you here on LHSN at Schellenberger Field for the championship game on Saturday. If W&L able to hold on, they will host on Saturday against Lynchburg in a battle between the 1 and 2 seeds in the ODAC tournament. We're watching just like you are. I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in on this Wednesday night. TJ Wingert here with you on LHSN. Once again, final score, Lynchburg wins and advances the ODAC championship game by the score of 3-0 over Virginia Wesleyan. That's going to do it for us at Schellenberger Field. For my director, Sam Rice, and the rest of our fantastic LHSN broadcast crew, my name's TJ Wingert, and until next time, we are signing off.